Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Figs Outside. So today we're going to be doing a valve adjustment on my 2005 5.9 liter Cummins turbo diesel. I think I did this I think it was about 100,000 miles when I did it. So it's been about another 118,000 on her. Check it every 115,000. And I just like to keep up on the maintenance on it, and I like to check it before something really goes wrong. It has been making a little bit of noise. I've replaced the exhaust manifold because the original factory cast single piece they warp, and this old girl works hard. I mean, she hauls a lot of firewood and she hauls a lot of hay during the season. So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing. But let me show you real quick. Okay, there we are. So 24 valve, like I said, 5.9, third gen. We're gonna zoom out real quick. So these are 10 millimeter bolts. You're gonna want to disconnect those. But first of all, for safety reasons, disconnect your negative battery cables. And on the crank down here, I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Let's see. Maybe right through here. Maybe. If it'll focus. Maybe not. Kind of a pain in the butt to see, actually. But anyway, on your crank, there's going to be a little line. Actually, kind of see it right there at the tip of my finger. Let's see if we could zoom in a little more. It's probably going to be blurry as all heck. Oh, maybe. No, it's not gonna like it. Sorry, guys. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, there's gonna be a little line on your crank pulley down there. That is gonna be the line for your TDC, your top dead center. So you're gonna want to get that at the 12 o'clock position as close as possible. And then once we remove this, I'll show you guys. So anyway, we're going to remove that, and then when you get it onto your first TDC, your first top dead center, you're going to want to check the number 1 valve, and if there's any play in it, you're on the right one. If not, if the valves, the intake valves are really, really tight, you're going to want to rotate it 360 degrees because you're already on set 2, so you want to rotate 360 degrees, get it back on set 1, and you should have a little bit of play in those valves. So I'll show you guys that when we get it done. Okay, so I got the cover off, you guys, and I almost got carried away. So when you go to remove the cover, be sure you take your old cap off. But these are also 10 millimeter bolts. Blah, too much coffee. But you have 6 of those, so you're gonna remove those. Those ones are a little bit more difficult to get to than these in the open, obviously. And then you're gonna also want to remove this brain farting. Anyway, you can remove the 2 bolts on here, or you could just take the hoses out, which I have tucked away over there. I'm probably going to just wrap something on them so they don't get dirty. But so this is this piece right here is the actual valve cover. So you're going to want to remove that. Like I said, 6 bolts, 10 millimeter. Okay, you guys. So what I did is I drew this up really quick for you guys. So you have set 1, set 2. Set 1 is your TDC, your top dead center, which is that line that I was talking about earlier at the 12 o'clock position. So set 1 is going to be 1, 2, 4. Exhaust side will be 1, 3, 5. Set 2 will be 3, 5, 6, 2, 4, 6. You guys can take a screenshot of this if you want. So for the intake, you want 10 thou. For the exhaust is 20 thou. Those are the recommended settings, or the lash, or the drag that you can get out of the feeler gauge. I'll show you guys that. Anyway, so you have a minimal and a max of each. There's that right there. So the minimal, the tightness, that's how tight it wants to be. Or that's the max tightness. I know it's kind of weird, but so is 6 thou. For the max looseness that you want it to be, or the amount of play, is 15 thou. So there's that. So you guys take a picture of that, and let's take a look at this really quick. So here we are. This is what it looks like when you get the actual valve cover off. So you have all your rocker arms. You have the jam nut and the Allen key, which is going to be in the middle. The jam nut is a 14 millimeter. Zoom in a little bit. So 14 millimeter. The Allen is a size 5. And so the way to adjust it is, I already put this in there because otherwise it'd be a pain in the butt with one hand. But you're going to want to just crack that loose a little bit. And I mean, it does not take much. And so you're going to crack that jam nut loose, and you're going to use the Allen key, and you're going to adjust it, tighten it, or loosen it. And it's very small adjustments. It make a huge amount of difference. So we're on the correct set or rotation. So, I mean, it's a tiny bit. I mean, there's a little bit of drag in there, not a whole lot, but probably within tolerance. I can tell you right now, the exhaust side is very loose. Stay there. So for that exhaust side, the max or your optimal adjustment is going to be 20 thou. But I'm telling you right now, that is way out. I deal with thousands all the time because I build rotary engine parts, magnetos specifically. And so I deal with that stuff all the time because they're tolerances, you know. I mean, you have to have those because you can't exactly pull an old warbird with a rotary engine. I mean, well, any plane. You can't exactly stop them in the middle of the sky, pull over and adjust stuff. So tolerances are very important. But so you have, so each one of these rockers operates 2 of the valves. Otherwise, this would be absolutely jam-packed. So the way to tell, I think my phone screen is dirty, but anyway, the way to tell is, so because somebody's going to ask, the way to tell what valves are what is you have your rockers. The ones that are closest to the intake over here are your intake valves. The ones that are closest to the exhaust over there, those are your exhaust valves. So if you look right here on this sucker, you have 2 intakes over here, 2 exhausts, and it goes back and forth all the way down the line to cylinder number 6. So the way to tell if you're on the right rotation or the right set is going to be your set 1 is 1, 2, and 4, right? So I got this one there. You can tell that's 1. 2, you can see the play in there. Let's see. You can see that play, right? Well, we're not on rotation number 2, we're set 2 because 3 is not on there, and I cannot move that bugger. I mean, that sucker is tight because it's the wrong set or the wrong rotation. So that's how you tell. And that's what, if you look online, that's what they're going to talk about, is you should be able to see a little bit of movement in there. So it's kind of hard to adjust these. I don't have a tripod or a bipod or anyone to hold the phone or the camera for me. So I'm going to have to adjust these without showing you guys. But I showed you what that was like. And you're just going to want to just, you know, and if it takes you several times, tighten it a little bit. Kind of check that jam nut, you know, tighten the jam nut a little bit, feel the play in there. And if it's too tight, loosen the jam nut a tiny bit, loosen this a little bit, and check it again. And just do that all the way around. You want to be sure you get these pretty within the tolerances. You don't just want to be like, that's somewhat close and call it good. That's not good for your engine. And you're going to wear out parts and you're going to have issues later on. And anyway, this is not a super complicated deal. Anybody could do it. And it just takes a couple tools. And there's a special tool to rotate it that you could put down there on the crank pulley to rotate it. I can list that down below. But I just reached underneath and I grabbed a hold of the pulley and I rotated it by hand. Just be careful because there's some sharp parts. That fan's pretty sharp. But it doesn't, yeah, it's not super difficult. So just real quick, I just want to show you guys this. So that number 1 exhaust, the super sloppy one, I mean, there is 0 play in there. This feeler gauge only goes up to 26. And I put it at 26 and it was still, I mean, there was not much difference in that. There is 0 drag on that. Okay, so I got this exhaust one adjusted and like you can see it's a little grabby where before it was just like sliding all over the place. It wasn't even touching. So it's just a little bit grabby. That's kind of what you want. Okay, so I got set 1 done. I rotated it 360 degrees and now you guys can see there's 0 play in one 2, but there it is for set 2. 356, 246 for the exhaust. So 356. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, see that? Now there's play. That's how you know. There's 4. Doesn't move. There's 5. And then 6 is obviously way back there. Hopefully that's not very out. Okay, well, she's all fully adjusted. I figured I'd show you guys this. A lot of people don't get to see this, but you can do this. So they're all fully adjusted. So when you start the engine, oil comes up through here and it fills these and it spills over. And that's how you get. It takes approximately, like, depending, 5 to 8 seconds, depending. Like I said, depends upon the viscosity, the weight of the oil, how quickly the oil comes up. So I know a guy who went through 2 7.3 Power Stroke engines. Well, he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. He, like, on cold days, I literally watched him repeatedly 5 days a week. As soon as the engine would crank over, he'd drop it into drive and take off. Not good. That's why he went through so many engines, especially those 7.3s. Good engine. Let me show you guys this. If you guys want to see this, let me show you this. Check this out. Okay, guys. So obviously it's noisy. Cummins motor standing in the engine bay. But here it is. Here's how your rockers and everything work. So I figured you guys want to check that out, huh? Pretty cool. Especially right there, you can see the oil spilling down on the push rods and going over the rocker. Or going over the valve stick. So you can see how they work. Cool. A lot of people don't get to see that. So yes, you can start the engine. Oil's not going to blow out everywhere on these Cummins engines, but you can really see how that oil flows. It comes up through here. So like I said, a lot of people, let me shut this off. Okay, so now I don't have to sit here and yell at this thing. So like I said, a lot of times, especially on really cold weather, your engine oil is obviously going to be a little bit thicker. So that oil has to work its way up. So it goes up and then it has to get in there. So like I said, I've even seen it on people with, like the guy I knew with that 7.3 Power Stroke. I've seen several guys do it with, they're running late, they're doing whatever, they jump in, they fire it up, and they take off right away. That is so ridiculously hard on that upper half of your engine. You don't have, yes, you have residual residue that's left over from the oil. Even if you're running like standard oil, but synthetics helps a little bit, but you don't have oil up in there. So don't do that. It's not good for your engine, and you're going to shorten the life of that engine. And like me, I don't run a block heater unless it's really, really cold, unless I'm down in like here where I'm at. If we're at like 10 to 0 degrees, run a block heater. What that does is it makes me more comfortable. Your coolant doesn't thicken up. It doesn't freeze. That's why it's coolant. It's antifreeze. But your oil gets thicker. And so, yeah, you have the block heater, makes it really nice when you jump in the truck. You turn your heater on for defrost. It defrosts quicker because obviously it's already warm. The coolant is. But not your engine oil. So yeah, I do let my truck warm up. The exhaust brake helps a lot because it keeps the internal temperatures inside the engine, the exhaust temperatures in the engine, instead of just let it flow freely out the exhaust pipe, because the butterfly, the baffle, helps to keep that heat inside so it does warm up a little bit quicker. But if I'm running a little bit late, I let it warm up for maybe a minute. I put it in drive and I keep it at about 1,000 RPMs, maybe 1,300 RPMs for my driveway, which is fairly long. I mean, it's my driveway, it's like 1/8 of a mile. But I'm trying to get that engine temperature up, the engine oil temperature up. You get the gist. I'll post everything down below, or actually in the screen, of the sizes that you need. And but yeah, it's not a hard deal. It's going to save you a ton of money, several $100s. Like when I called, just because I didn't have time at the time to just have them adjust the valves on this truck, it was $400 to $500. $400 to $500. That's ridiculous. And I did find my normal Allen set. I actually found it because the other one would have been too tall for the back. But so yeah, $400 to $500, and it took me just over an hour. I mean, yeah, and even in shop wages, you know, I would have been spending $350 to $400 more. So anyway, guys, hope this helps you out. I've taken up enough of your time. I greatly appreciate you guys watching this video. If you like this video, if you have a comment, leave it down below. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And until next time, guys, see you again.